Hello everybody and welcome to our Reliv webinar. I want to remind everyone of what our Reliv mission is, which is to nourish the world in mind, body and spirit, and all of our distributors and of course our corporate team live by this mission every day. This week we've got a very special guest to do our webinar, and our webinar is on wealth building strategies, and I would like to welcome someone who's just done a fantastic job for us at our Bali Leadership Camp in November of 2014, and today's webinar is presented by Terry Renton, our Presidential Platinum Ambassador and Reliv Hall of Fame member. Terry, welcome to our Reliv Asia Pacific webinar, and it's over to you.
Thank you, Bernie. I really enjoyed going to Bali and meeting a lot of the leaders there, and I feel that we can strategize together. And maybe some of the things that I have done in my previous experience to get to a Platinum Ambassador level and a member of the Hall of Fame can be of value, and that's why I was sharing these here. You know, they say passion on fire is more effective than intelligence on ice. And when you're on fire, people will come for miles to watch you burn. But what do we really do in Reliv? Well, the first thing we have to do is ask ourselves a question: do we sell or sponsor or teach? And the answer really is we learn to build a distributor network by mastering the success system. Now, what we get paid for is exposing people to the business and the products, validating that the business works because the products work. And I got to tell you, with this new Lunar Rich LRX coming out, if you're not excited now, you just wait till you see some of the results that people are having. That's going to build a fantastic business. And then teaching teachable distributors, you know, to build a distribution system. In other words, we're paying people to teach teachers to teach. Now, it's a business you build once, when you build it right, and it pays you for the rest of your life. Now, we always think about what do we do when we start talking about change. And, you know, that's something for me that some people go into shock or anger or denial or stress. They really don't know or really don't feel comfortable in change. Maybe they don't like the change. But when you go from a customer that is, or a person that's never heard of Reliv to a customer, you go through a little bit of anxiety, maybe some stress. Or you go from a distributor that's never been in business for themselves before to trying to be successful in your own business. So again, you get to a point where you have to transition to that next area. We call that passive. Now, at some point, you kind of know that you could be successful because other people are, and what you've got to kind of come to grips with is that you are going to be successful. You are going to be part of that. You're going to be part of that balance beam that tips you over and lets you start being the successful person you want to be. Now you have more energy and more motivation, kind of the new you, if you will. Well, what happens at that point? At that point, you got to take action. You know, I put this picture of this jet airplane here. You know, at first, a jet airplane is pulled down by gravity. It's stuck to the earth because it's not moving forward. Well, by taking action now, you create lift, you create forward momentum. Those big jet engines push you forward, and as they push you forward, you rise through the ranks of Reliv and the financial business that you want, the wealth that you want. And I'm not saying money is the be-all, end-all, but you can do and meet your dreams if you have the right strategy using this mechanism, using this vehicle, this jet airplane, to move you forward at supersonic speeds. Now, obviously, you need to look at those activities that give you value for time. We don't have too much time in the day. We all have time that gets prioritized to other things. So you must be consistent. Make personal contacts. Do follow-ups with customers and distributors. Do the trainings and the meetings, because that builds infrastructure. That recognizes leaders, helps leaders to train. And, of course, go to the national and international conferences. Have your eye on the prize. You know, we're talking about Phuket. We're talking about going to St. Louis to the international conference. And you got to do it efficiently. Don't try to recreate a system that has already been developed. An acronym for system I like to use is save yourself significant time, energy, and money. Okay, that's system. S-Y-S-T-E-M. Now, one of the strategies I use is what I call a 30, 60, 90-day plan of action. This is not theory. I'm not teaching you from pie in the sky. This is what I did January, February, and March of 1996. I watched my sponsors double their income to $30,000 a month. And I said, you know what? They're not doing anything I can't do. They're just taking action. They're treating it like a real business, not a hobby-level business. That jet airplane has to go at full throttle. So I made a list of everybody I ever wanted to talk to. And I started with the people that I felt are the best prospects for the list. At the end of the day, we're looking for people that have character, they're honest, ethical, and entrepreneurial. We're looking for people that are not afraid to work. We're talking about people, secondly, that have vision. They want tomorrow better than they have today. And finally, like I said before, they're teachable people. So that gives us that forward motion. What we do at that point is we contact them. Okay? We set appointments with them. We make those 20 appointments. In other words, we actually go do those appointments. And in that process, we see that they are moving forward. And be realistic, not everybody will make their appointments. So, you know, some will cancel. Some will have more people like their next door neighbor. So have 20 appointments. In the first 30 days, when you do those appointments, you're going to get some sales. You're going to get people that come into the business. We figure probably about 20. And then you do the follow-up with those people. You want those people to know that you care. You're not going to just, here today and gone tomorrow. Now, I got to tell you that these people are also going to help you with referrals. They're going to start possibility thinking when you do those follow-ups. Because when they see those results and they hear other people's stories, they're going to start moving forward. They're going to say, gee, if the product's this good, then I need to move forward. Or, gee, if the business is this good, I need to tell other people. So recognize that those follow-ups are going to move you forward. Now, this is what happens. You have 20 customers for life. Not for today, tomorrow, but forever if you do the right things to them and with them. Also, too, you're going to make about $1,000 US. That's about 45 hours of work, making about $25 an hour. Now, the next month, from day 30 to day 60, you do the same thing again. Well, naturally, you're going to get the same kind of financial reward again, but also you're servicing people from the first 30 days, so you're going to get a repeat business. And naturally, some people will join the business because they weren't ready the first 30 days, but now they are. And they're seeing how easy it is, how fun it is. They're talking to lots of people. But again, that's still the questions of what we're going to do. And certainly some people say, well, gee, I can make 25 or 30%, or I can make 40% plus the royalties. So again, if you lay out in your appointment with each of these people the first 30 days, now the master affiliate is the place to be. It's all the reasons we should versus all the reasons we shouldn't. Again, it's the best value for time. Then let's recap what happens to you then. We now have 35 people that are customers for life because some of them didn't promote. We have 5 distributors and $2,500 US with about 50 hours expended, which is $50 an hour. And I'm sorry I talk in US dollars because I'm from the US, but look at the success path you're laying down as a model for other people. So now you're at day 60. What do? Hey, you do the same steps again. Now we're talking another $2,500. We're talking working with those people, starting to promote some of those people. Well, you know what? Some of the retail customers may not promote. That's okay. We need retail customers or preferred customers. And from the first 30 days, we might still have 10 of them left over. But you know what? 5 of them might promote to quick starts, okay? And then maybe perhaps 2 of them might promote to master affiliates. Again, this is what happened to me. So as people are starting to move forward from the first 30 days or the second 30 days, we're going to start working with them and their distributors, okay? So now we're down the path of having our customers plus our distributors plus our distributors' distributors, actually 2 and 3 tiers deep now. helping them with their appointments. So that gets very, very exciting and very, very, very large when we do it that way. What happens from a plan of action standpoint? You have 45 customers for life. You have $6,000 US in a period of just 90 days, and now you're talking about $100 an hour. What does that mean to us? Well, when we recap this, in the first 30 days, if you followed this plan, considering that you probably have points already, because that's why you're on this call, you would result in 26 points, plus the points you have already, and maybe it's 4 points, I don't know, but you'd be over 30 points. That qualifies you for Phuket by just taking action now. If you get to the second 30 days, that would add another 45 points. Hey, you make the United States. Okay, maybe you're not this aggressive, but if you get to 30 days, you definitely make the United States, even if you cut this in half. I'm saying to you is, maybe you're not trying to shoot for the stars, maybe you're not even trying to shoot for the moon, but you can clear the barn and get to the United States. But it's a function of taking action now. Let's talk about the biggest problem we have with that, and I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to say we all have these kinds of outside influences. Don't let them affect your business. Treat this like a real business. You know, it's the reality of what we have is more powerful than the opinions of other people. In other words, it's one of those reality kinds of problems that is better than the opinion. The reality is my best month in the business is $126,000. The reality is I went through and did this 30, 60, 90-day plan, and that's not even the best that's ever happened. There's people that have doubled my plan, okay, and tripled my plan in 90 days. This is just what I did as the pioneer. Now, there's always people that have better ideas. Let's do it this way. Let's do it that way. You know, we're going to do special little promotions in our own way. Reliv already has the promotions. We don't have to add anything because we have to understand that that is not duplicatable. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Lead by example, not be a lead-away leader. Over the years, what happens is we start identifying people that you'll work with, people you'll be with. Who would you like to go to Phuket with? Who would you like to go to the United States with? Be consistent. We had at least 6 cash millionaires in the room at Bali. People that have made over $1 million US in Bali. So this is what happens. Our wonderful compensation plan, we have a situation where it goes year in and year out. The 30, 60, 90-day plan is just to get you off the ground. But just here, when you look at our compensation plan, if we're just talking 3 master affiliates, that gives us $480. Well, 3 master affiliates, as you know, is 10 points each. That's 30 points right there. I'm sorry, 5 points each. So that's 15 points right there. And as you do that over a period of time, you know, that's $480 in your pocket. Well, that's a car payment for most people. You know, what would $6,000 do for you? Let's say you don't even make the trip. $6,000 a year buys you a pretty nice trip to the St. Louis conference by the time it comes around. So this is very, very powerful if you start taking action now. The second level, you're talking about $1,500 per month. In other words, $18,000 a year. That could bring a working mom home. Heck, that might even bring a working dad home because he doesn't have to add his second job to the family. Then the third level, you're talking about $3,700 a month. In the fourth level, over $8,000 a month. And then finally, you're talking about $18,300 a month. Guys, this is not the top. This is just an example. Let me say this again. Reliv has paid me $126,000 in just 1 month. And I'm not bragging. I'm just saying that much, much more is possible than this example we're showing today. So please don't think that this is not achievable. This is something that you can do. And what happens if you do it slowly? A year for 3 master affiliates, and then a year for their 3 master affiliates. What are you doing today that in 5 years you can make that kind of income? We need to come back to some of the things that you're going to hear. Shifting belief, I call it. In other words, people who don't understand what you have a hold of. They got a new idea. Or, oh no, they said no. You know what? It's not the cost problem. It's a value. And we need to shift the belief to people that understand that. It's an economy. People already spend money in their over-the-counter medications and other things, other supplements. It's insurance. In other words, it's prevention rather than the cost of insurance. Or let me ask you a question. I used to have migraine-class headaches from low blood sugars. How much is your pain worth? Because I know I would give anything not to have those migraine headaches. And also, too, it's financial jail. You know what? People have credit cards, perhaps. It's the credit limit on their credit card, things that they can't do. It's the dream stealers that say, you can't buy that house, you can't buy that car. Well, we have something to shift their belief and make sure that they can accomplish the things that they need to accomplish. We have to shift the belief in ourselves first to get other people to move forward with us, to come on board that jet airplane. The next part of this, is looking at the vision aspect of this, okay? Involving what we see. Now, our vision is going to determine our downline's vision. If we have very small visions, let's say we just want to jump over a stick that's sitting on the ground, our downline is going to have very small visions. But if we have visions that we want to go to Phuket, then of course they'll want to go to Phuket because they'll want to be with you. So build your vision, build your future. When I say go wide, that means don't just talk to one people and think your job's done. Talk to many people until you find the people that see this as large as you. Now that person may not be directly in front of you. It may be somebody that's under somebody else. And that's what we mean by working deep. In other words, there may be people that introduce you to really, really good people. Work with them too. What's your plan for setting appointments, doing appointments, getting customers, getting distributors, getting master affiliates? See, you have to do it for yourself. Certainly I've provided you that 30, 60, 90-day plan with a recap of 20 customers, 5 distributors a month for 3 months in a row. But that was my plan. You can do much more. You can do some less. You know, when is that going to happen? Now, you have to talk to that person in the mirror. You have to determine when you see for yourself that this is something that you want to do. You have to embrace and take ownership of this. That builds you the wealth building strategies that determines your future leadership, the value of your success. For me, the value of my success was my crippled dad being able to reach over his arthritic hips and put on his own shoes and his own socks and get out of the wheelchair under his own power. That was very powerful. That let me know that we had an incredible business because the products work. The other part of this is how much is your success worth? I mean, I've had children, my grandchild, for example, she was born or diagnosed in the womb with a hydrocephalic condition, in other words, water on the brain. In a period of 4 months taking Reliv products, the mother did not have so much water in that little baby that it was hydrocephalic when it was born. Guys, without Reliv, that would have never happened. So I have to determine, from my standpoint, what's the value of my success? It's changing lives of people I love. It's changing lives of people I haven't met yet who want to build a business for their family. And ultimately, it's changing my life to be where I want to be when I want to be it. You know what? Leaders talk about this as spirit because the human spirit lives and dies on hope. And that's something that you can't put a price tag on. Bernie, that's what I have to present today. Hopefully the people on this call will take that to heart and see this in a very big way for them.
Terry, thanks very, very much. You've really hit the nail on the head. I appreciate you so much doing this for us today. And I'd say to everyone, you know, please go over this webinar, not just once, but multiple times. Really get familiar with it. Commit yourself to doing that 30, 60, 90-day plan. And as Terry said, in 2 months, you could actually qualify not just for Phuket, but also for our St. Louis International Conference next year, 2015 in August. And what's here is dynamite. It really is dynamite information. It's coming straight from the mouth of someone who's not just telling you what to do, but who's actually lived this and done it themselves. And Terry, again, I say to you, thank you so much for what you've provided for us today, and also again for what you provided for us on the Bali Leadership Camp. And I would say to everybody out there to get out there, sponsor, promote, advance, and ignite your business. And thanks everyone for today. And Terry Renton, thank you again for being on our webinar and presenting for us today.